Politics is often a contest not only of policies but of personalities, and when voters look at a party, they do not just measure its ideas but its character, its fitness to govern. And that is why the case of James McMurdock matters. McMurdock, who was elected in 2024 as the Reform UK MP for South Basildon, East Thurrock, has spent more time fending off allegations than legislating. He left the party whip after questions over pandemic loans totalling £70,000 connected to his companies with no employees and minimal assets were discovered. He insists he's been cleared of wrongdoing, yet the reputational damage lingers. Worse still, he's now under investigation by Parliament's Standards Commissioner over claims that he facilitated racial abuse online, specifically by initiating what is known as the N Tower on Twitter, a crude attempt to spell out the most offensive racial slur. McMurdock denies wrongdoing, saying his post was a meaningless accidental letter, but the complaint from Conservative MP Ben Obisjekti was clear. Even the appearance of such behaviour disgraces the Commons. And this isn't all. McMurdock is admitted to a criminal conviction for assaulting his girlfriend as a teenager, downplaying it as a moment of bad behaviour, for which he was jailed. Meanwhile, reports have surfaced that he inflated his CV. Well, maybe he got advice from Rachel Reeves, claiming senior roles at Goldman Sachs, Barclays, Lehman Brothers, while in fact former colleagues describe him as a junior administrator, far from the financial high fly he presented to voters. Maybe he's been watching the terribly good musical How to Get Ahead in Business without really trying. What does all this add up to? On one level, McMurdock may simply be a flawed individual who won a marginal seat. But on another, his presence raises a larger question. What kind of people are Reform UK attracting? Nigel Farage has been successful in luring former Conservative heavyweights, Danny Kruger, Maria Caulfield, Jake Berry, Andrea Jenkins. They provide an air of credibility, experience and political heft. Nadine Dorries. But alongside them are figures like McMurdock, men with checkered pasts, unvetted candidacies, and allegations of dishonesty, or worse. This is the tension inside Reform. For every polished defector, there's a candidate who slipped through the net. McMurdock's case exposes a failure of vetting and a cavalier attitude to public standards. His story is not just personal misfortune, it's emblematic of a party that claims to be ready to lead, but too often resembles a protest movement with insufficient safeguards. You only have to look at the sheer number of councillors who've been elected, who've then dropped out, or who've had dodgy records exposed. Farage has tried to push McMurdock into the shadows. He was absent from the Reform conference stage, a notable exclusion. Yet you cannot erase the fact that he was elected under their banner. Voters in Basildon put their cross by a Reform name. Responsibility cannot be dodged like that. So the question is this: can a party that attracts both respected ex-ministers and dubious chancers be trusted to run the country? Can a movement that promises to sweep away sleaze truly embody integrity when one of its own MPs is dogged by scandal after scandal after scandal? Leadership is not just about rhetoric. It's about ensuring that the men and women chosen to represent the public are worthy of that trust. McMurdock's career so far suggests Reform has failed that basic test. And in politics, as in life, credibility is hard to win and easy to lose.